Hi there, I'm Dermot Dowling, Founding Director of Creative Innovation and International Business Consultancy. I just want to share with you a couple of quick tips that I picked up from listening to Evan Thornley speak at Australia Chamber's Business Congress last year in July. Evan Thornley, for those who haven't heard of him, was the CEO and founder of LookSmart. He's also been involved with Goodstart, and he's currently the CEO of Better Place Australia. Today we're going to talk to you about how to solve problems by thinking differently. And to do that, I'll need to take you through a number of different thinking styles. The first thinking style that you may have heard of and seen in your own experience in your business or your life is the no thinking style. And this is explained very simply as any idiot can come up with 50 reasons to say no. And a good example where you would encounter no is if you've done a presentation in a boardroom environment or taken an idea to your senior leadership and they've just flatly said no, and then come up with things like usual excuses like we've been there, we've done that, it won't work for these reasons. And I guess Evan used a good example for why not to use no thinking styles. Two words, Kodak and Fairfax. So did Kodak see the digital revolution coming? Yes, they did. They were heavily involved in it. Did they do anything about it? No. And it's very easy to be one of the dissenting voices, likewise with Fairfax and the internet revolution, and how that has had a big impact on their business. The second type of thinking is or thinking. Now this is binary thinking, and it's better than no thinking, but it is still not a very good style of thinking. A good example of or thinking, or either or thinking, is industrial relations, and the way it's always been framed in the old days of management versus workers. And the debate is always around, should we tilt the system towards management or tilt the system towards workers? Evan explained a good proposition here, which was perhaps 95% of all employees are good workers and not bludgers, and 95% of all managers are great leaders and not thugs and crooks. And reframing the question is, how can we create an industrial relations system that empowers and motivates the 95% who are good and want to achieve great outcomes, yet deals with 5% efficiently and effectively. So that's binary thinking, or thinking. Another example of or thinking is profits or the planet. They do not need to be mutually exclusive, and Better Place Australia is a very good example of a business that is out to seek profits and also to benefit the planet. The next type of thinking is when thinking. And when thinking is obviously better than the binary or thinking, and it is better than the flat out no thinking. A good example of when thinking, and we can use the industrial relations example, is when a worker does X, Y, Z, and the impact is clearly with the worker, how do we deal with that? What does our wisdom suggest from past experience? When thinking does rely on wisdom, so when event A happens, it triggers off reactions and answers to event A. However, when thinking is still predicated on wisdom, experience, and as we know, a lot of problems and opportunities that come to us today are very different to what we've faced in the past, and the solutions that you will need to impact and solve those problems or capture those opportunities will also need to be different. The fourth style of thinking, and the far more efficient and effective style of thinking, but the hardest to do, is and thinking. And a good example of and thinking are some of the businesses that Evan himself has been involved in. One would be Goodstart, which is the newly emerged from the ashes early childcare centres, which is basically a public or not-for-profit business, an alliance of 4 not-for-profit businesses who have taken control of a collapsed entity, have worked with both the public sector, the community sector, and their own businesses using a for-profit model and achieved a great outcome. Another example of and thinking would be Better Place, and the original founder of Better Place in Israel, where they've said, how can we overcome these issues around oil? How can we overcome the dependencies on oil? How can we create a better solution and overcome the problems that electric cars face? And used a lot of and thinking. So and thinking involves basically shattering old paradigms or separations, whether it's between private sector, public sector and community, and saying how can we combine the best benefits of all these different systems, how can we choose business models or ways of working that will achieve better outcomes. Another good example of and thinking would be Grameen Bank, from originally founded in Bangladesh. There was no radical ideology, there was some radical solutions to some old problems in Bangladesh, and that's very well documented. So all we really wanted to capture today is that in business and in your own life you will encounter different problems, you'll also be presented with opportunities. And how you think through those problems, how you frame the questions to those problems is crucial to the solutions and the positive outcomes you'll generate. That's all we're going to share today, and I hope to share some more with you in the future. You'll be able to see these videos on YouTube/user/Creative8TV. I'll also detail in more detail the learnings from that great talk from Evan Thornley at Australian Chambers Business Congress on my blog, which is www.creative8.wordpress.com. Thanks, and I hope to talk to you again soon.